Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's restorative yoga class. We have a 60-minute restorative yoga class to help soothe your nervous system. Although I feel like I wasn't all that creative when I came up with that title because honestly, every single restorative yoga practice that you do is essentially soothing your nervous system. So tonight, though, we are going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to just get right to it. Before we do that, make sure you have all your goods. So your bolster or your pillows, 1 or 2 pillows are going to do for you. Make sure that you have your blocks or your books. I think I said that you needed a strap. Yes, you do need a strap tonight. So if you have it, make sure you have your strap. Otherwise, make sure that you have a towel, maybe arm's length long would be good for you. And then a blanket. So those are all of the goods that you need for tonight, all of the available support that you can get. I'm also going to try something a little different. I am going to try putting on some music. So I'd love to get your feedback about how you like the music. You can either leave it in the comments below or just email me, Veronica at curiousmonkey.com, and give me your feedback. I know you guys give me quite a good number of feedback, so I really, really appreciate it. Okay, let's turn on the music, and then let's get right to it. Hands and feet in tabletop position to start. So we're actually going to start with movement tonight. Okay, make sure that your hands, your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders, your knees directly underneath your hips. And on your next inhale, arch your back, gaze up toward the ceiling, tailbone toward the sky. Exhale, round your back, slow movements. Tuck that tailbone in, press your hands into the ground, dome up your back and shoulder area. Inhale, tailbone to the sky, gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale, round your back, tuck that tailbone in, dome up your upper back, upper shoulder area. And then get right into some free flow. I'm not going to do anything yet because I want to know what you're going to come up with. So go ahead and practice that body awareness. Move in any direction. You have full permission to move in any direction that feels good for you. Not only are you able to cultivate a sense of body awareness here, just noticing how you're generally feeling overall, but you're also able to start diving into a sense of intuition, a sense of that inner knowing, because deep down you already know what you need. So perhaps you may have found yourself in hip circles. Maybe you find yourself in some shoulder circles. Child's pose, or make stuff up, get playful, maybe stretching one leg out and another. Anything goes, whatever feels good to you on the mat. Nice, keep your breath steady and long. There's no rush, at least for the next 60 minutes. There is certainly no rush at all. And at least for the next 60 minutes, the name of the game is just to do what feels good. Nice. Eventually, come on back to tabletop position. And to kick off your practice, I'm going to give you some time, some space, 1 whole minute to get into any other movement or stillness that you'd like. So if you'd like to take Sukhasana right away, you can find yourself in a meditating position. Otherwise, keep playing and keep exploring to see what it is that you need. There are no rules. Just find what feels good to you. Nice, and wherever you have landed, take one extra breath here. And slow, slow. No rush at all. Make your way into a child's pose from wherever you are. And allow that child's pose to be easy. The wider your knees are, the deeper the hip opening. So it's your choice how wide or how narrow you want your knees. If you want to get into restorative right away, you can even use a pillow, placing it underneath your knees for some support, especially if those hips feel tight. You can even take your second pillow and place it underneath your belly for something that's more on the restorative side. I think I'll do it without for tonight. Allow your elbows and your forearms to hang heavy down into the mat. And as you settle here, take some time to reflect upon what that experience was like. You took a few moments, few minutes in free flow and body awareness. And there's no judgment. But what was that experience like? Maybe you knew exactly what you needed tonight. Or maybe you had no idea what to do with yourself given that free time or that free space. And when you didn't know what to do with yourself, notice more. What thoughts came with it? Was it light? Kind of like, I have no idea what to do with myself. Was there worry or anxiety or judgment attached to it? Was there any awkwardness attached to it? When given the freedom to do whatever it is that you wanted, that would feel good to you. No judgment, just awareness. The stories or the record of thoughts that play within us for any challenges that we may face on the mat, even if it's just a restorative class, for any challenge that we may face on the mat, is usually the same set of thoughts, of recordings that play throughout our entire days. So when we become aware of the self-talk that's happening in our minds, we're then able to begin to separate ourselves from it. Let those forearms sink in a little more. Let your breath deepen. And in fact, on your next inhale, inhale into the back of your heart, the back of your lungs, opening up any stagnated spaces. Exhale, sink in. And you may even rock your forehead from side to side and up and down. A little bit of forehead massage, nice. And slowly, slower than you want to. Rise all the way up into a seated position. Once you arrive, find yourself in Sukhasana, your easy posture with your legs crossed. Of course, if you have sore knees or injured knees, let your legs just straighten out in front of you. And if that low back is screaming at you today, it's pretty sore, prop yourself up on a block or a book. Okay, right hand plants down, left hand comes up and overhead, a little bit of side body opening. Allow the entire left side of your body to open up, almost feeling like as if every single rib is opening up, undoing all of that sitting that you've been doing all week. Stretch through with your left fingertips. And inhale, rise up, reach up. Left hand comes down, right arm up and overhead. Reach with your right fingertips. And notice the space between every single rib on your right hand side of the body. Inhale, rise up, reach up, nice. Inhale, both hands up toward the sky, reach up, maybe swaying from side to side. Take a break, big breath, inhale. And exhale, allow your arms to come down. Nice. Just down onto your knees. If your eyes aren't already closed, allow them to flutter closed right now. And let's settle into our grounding, taking a little bit of time here to find ourselves. As you arrive, drop into a body scan, noticing from your head all the way down to your toes. Any areas that are holding tension, and just simply allow it to soften. Also, notice any areas that are particularly tired tonight that need to be rested, that need to be taken care of. And just give it a mental head nod, a little bit of acknowledgement. Noticing all the way down to your toes. Nice, and then I'll guide you through so that we make sure that you've taken the time to soften the crown of your head all the way down through both jaws, the space between your brows, your entire face, your shoulders, your arms. Allow your arms to hang heavy by your sides, effortless. The point of contact between your hands or wrists against your knees, allowing that point of contact to completely support the weight of both arms. Soften your hips, your inner leg line, and even your feet. With ease. Being here in Sukhasana, easy pose, with ease. Now draw attention into your breath. Take a long, deep inhale through your nose. Fill up your heart. Fill up your lungs. Big sigh. Let it all go. One more breath. Long, deep inhale. Fill up your heart. Fill up your lungs. And exhale. Sigh it all out. Everything that does not serve you. Any thoughts, occurrences, interactions, experiences that weigh you down, that drain your energy. Now's the time to release it. Nice. And just noticing your steady breath. Long, deep inhale through your nose, filling up your heart and your lungs. Full and complete exhales. Oh, that stale air out. We're going to take a moment here to notice our heart space. Take your hand, place it on your heart. Maybe even noticing the beating of your own heart. The Heart Math Institute has been doing studies on heart coherence, and what they're finding is that the magnetic field of your heart, the energy that your heart sends out, is actually far greater than even in your brain. So the electromagnetic waves of your brain only go so far out, your heart expands even further. So while all this time we thought it would be the brain sending signals to the heart, it's also the other way around. Our heart are such indicators and are such profound and impactful part of our experiences, our emotions, our feelings, our well-being. And when you breathe through your heart as you are right now, inhale, breathing through your heart, and exhale through your heart, you're encouraging and enhancing your heart coherence. And when your heart is coherent, you drop into that place that I talk about so often, that ever-present sense of peace, stillness, and clarity within you. And it only takes a few moments to bring you from your head, maybe the mental chatter and the analyzing and the being flustered, and into your heart, where you can tap into that sense of stillness, that sense of peace. Inhale, notice all of the energy gathering around your heart center. And exhale, feel it expanding out 360 degrees around you. Inhale, all of that energy gathers around your heart center. And exhale, notice it expanding out even further, 360 degrees. Inhale, gather. Exhale, expand. Slow, slow. No rush at all. Let's begin to shift into our first restorative posture. Gently flutter your eyelids open and take hold of your blocks or your books. Place the first block on its highest setting, the second block on the medium setting, the second block being the one that's closest to your back. And let's take a pillow or your bolster. Place it right over top of those blocks, creating our little contraption so that we can have a place to lean, a place to rest. And if it makes more sense for you to put two pillows on, by make more sense, I mean, seems like it'll feel better, then yes, use two whole pillows. Okay, place your sacrum right by the edge of your pillow. And go ahead with your knees bent, the soles of your feet down on the ground. Allow yourself to lie all the way back. And if you want to get even more cozy, you can take a blanket, place it right over top of you. I'm actually pretty warm with the fireplace behind me, but we'll still use the blanket. It's nice for effect. Okay, place one, or actually maybe not so that you can see. One hand on your heart first, and one hand on your belly. And before you move anywhere, just notice the rhythm of your own breathing. Nice. Inhale, belly rising. Exhale, belly falls. Awesome. Inhale, belly rise. Exhale, belly falls. And as you settle in, perhaps now you begin to choose where you would like to have your hands. If you want it exactly as it is, perfect. Otherwise, maybe you want them beside you. A little bit of expansion through your heart space. We hunch forward so often, kind of crunching through our chest. When we're on our laptops, when we're reading, when we're on our phones. So that when we open up our heart space, it's actually counteracting and undoing all of that hunching that we're doing. And in turn, it actually softens your shoulders. So if you did choose to let your arms come down by your sides, notice your shoulders melting off to either side. Nice. And now your feet. Perhaps you like your feet exactly as it is. Maybe that feels so good. Otherwise, you might want to bring the soles of your feet together for a bit of a reclined butterfly. And wherever you've landed, make sure that this is the absolute most comfortable posture that you can take, or the most comfortable variation of this posture that you can take. And allow yourself to drift. Let yourself be supported by the blocks and the pillows underneath you. Being the first restorative posture of our practice tonight, this is the perfect place to set an intention for the remainder of your practice. So what is your intention for being on your mat tonight? What is it that you want to cultivate? Why are you on your mat? What do you want more of? Perhaps it's rest. Perhaps it's to connect to that sense of peace. Maybe really you're here to soothe your nervous system. Either way, set the intention now. One of the most profound things that I've learned from my coaching, and it actually took me a while before it finally clicked for me, is that nothing really has a meaning until you put a meaning to it. So the real question that we should be asking ourselves is, what are you making it mean? Because it can mean whatever it is that you want. And what's so liberating about that is that, put another way, you get to make the meaning of your experiences. You get to decide what it means to be on your mat tonight, what it means if the dishes are done or not, if the dog is walked or not, and whatever meaning that you put to it, you're right. Because we all live in this world through our own perceptions. And when we can shift our perspective to be one that is of hope and possibilities, that is has a huge impact in the joy and the happiness that we have in our lives. So tonight, we'll become aware of the stories and the thoughts that normally swirl around in our heads, and I'll offer you up maybe a different perception, maybe a different story. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And of course, you're absolutely welcome to create new thoughts, new intentions that most suit you. So as you settle in deeper, let me offer up these thoughts. I get to decide the meaning of my experiences. My experiences mean what I want it to mean, what I make it mean. I always get to choose again. I always get to choose differently. Long, deep breaths. Long, deep inhale. And exhale. And maybe just for tonight, let's experiment with seeing our breath as not so much us breathing, but being breathed into, whether you want to be breathed into by the innate intelligence of the automatic systems within your body, or maybe you're being breathed into by a divine loving universe. But your breath is effortless. Those full deep inhales and full deep exhales all happen on their own in support of you. If you're in butterfly pose, use your hands to gently guide your knees back together. Tip over onto one side, using your hands to help you up, moving slower than you want to. Slow, slow. No rush at all. And we'll do a variation of where we were just at. So we're actually just going to remove the pillows from underneath you. And we'll go into a deeper heart opening. So I like to have both my blocks on the medium setting, but if you already know that's too much for you, then go ahead, place the one that's closest to your back on the lowest setting. And if you're on books and it feels a little bit wobbly to be doing this, just use two pillows, one piled on top of another. Okay, the first block, the one closest to your back, is going to land right underneath your armpit. And the second one, right underneath your head. I love doing heart bench, and if we were in person, I would be coming around to help you adjust because this one's a bit tricky to get into, but definitely worthwhile. Okay. And once you are situated, once again, choose where you'd like to have your arms. The wider your arms are, the deeper the heart opening. And if you want another butterfly, go ahead, take another butterfly posture with your feet. Making sure that wherever you are, this is the most comfortable that you can be. Feel like as if each of your shoulders, especially the fronts of your shoulders, are melting off to the left and to the right. And with that same sense of being breathed into, allow yourself to take in 5 full breaths. Nice. If you're in butterfly pose, use your hands to help draw your knees back together. And just tipping over to one side or another. Just shift yourself so that you can remove the blocks from underneath you. Be aware of where your strap or your towel is. Come all the way back down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Find stillness right away. Just a little bit of low back release here. If it feels good for you, you can rock from side to side. If you're not feeling any low back release, then gently draw your knees just a few inches apart. Nice. Awesome. Okay, gently release. Take the strap or your towel and place it over top the balls of both feet. Stretch your feet up toward the ceiling, pointing the soles of your feet up toward the sky, as if you're trying to get your soles of your feet to kiss the ceiling. Allow your elbows to come down by your sides. Point the toes toward the wall or the window or the door behind you. You can notice already an opening through your back leg line. Let this be easy. If you find that your arms are shaking, then just simply give yourself a little bit of space. Nice. Taking in a full inhale. And exhale. Noticing the soles of your feet opening up, the backs of your heels, your calves, your hamstrings, your sacrum, supported by the mat underneath you. Knowing that as your legs sit above your heart as it is, it's cueing your parasympathetic nervous system, the system within your body that activates all of the right cues, all of the right chemicals for nurturing, for calming, for soothing your nervous system. And here I'll offer up some new thoughts. If you'd like to absorb them, if you'd like to use them to replace any of the old stories that you have, I can let go now. It's okay to let go. It's okay to let it be easy. You're supported. It's okay to rest. You get to rest. Gently release your hold, your grip from the strap, just enough so that you can take a bend into your right knee. Keep the strap on the ball of your left foot. Start with planting the right sole of your foot down on the ground. If that feels good, your low back is okay, then maybe you stretch that right leg all the way out. You can feel an intensified opening through your back leg line. And I am using the word intensified very loosely because the name of the game tonight is to feel good. So there's no straining. Nothing is really all that strenuous. Both straps in your left hand. Keep your right hand on your right hip. Pretend that I have a 5-pound sandbag and I've just gently laid it on your right hip, grounding you down. Whenever you're ready, gently allow your left leg to fall over toward the left-hand side, nice and slowly, and only as far as it can go for both hips to still be on the mat. That 5-pound sandbag is still grounding you. If you'd like support, you can take your pillows and place it underneath your leg, not where your feet is, but right where your upper leg is. Yeah, then you have a little bit of support and it's not so much effort to hold that leg up. Nice, feel that opening through your inner leg line. Inhale, slowly draw that left leg all the way up. A little bit of work, just slight for your core. Bring your knee into your chest. Allow that left foot to come down onto the ground. And let's switch sides. Bring a bend into that right foot, placing the strap or your towel from the right big toe all the way through to the right little toe, right on the ball of that foot. Both hands, or both straps, hips in your right hand. If your low back is doing all right, allow that left leg to slide all the way down onto the mat. And that 5-pound sandbag has now come over onto that left hip. Place your left hand on your left hip to remind you to ground through that left hip. And then whenever you're ready, allow that right leg to gently, slowly drift on over toward the right-hand side. But again, only let that leg fall as far as it can while both hips still remain on the ground. And if you do need support, take that same pillow, place it underneath your upper right leg. Nice. Okay, gently draw that right leg all the way back up. Bring a bend into that right knee. You can release the strap, place the strap to the side. Hug your knees into your chest. And let's take a pit stop here for a happy baby. May as well. Take your hands, if you can, hang on to the inner or outer edges of your feet. You can also hang on to your ankles, your calves, or your socks or pant legs are good too. The most comfortable way that you can take happy baby. You may find yourself maybe rocking from side to side, only if it feels good. Good. Gently release your hold from your happy baby. Hug your knees into your chest one more time. No rush at all. Slow, slow. Tip on over to one side or another. Use your hands to help you up. And stack your pillows. Take your pillow, place it vertically along the side of your mat. You might need 1 or 2 pillows today. I think I want some extra support, so I'm going to use 2 pillows today. We're moving into a supported pigeon. And in any way that is most comfortable to you, bring yourself into pigeon on the right hand side. So you sweep that right knee toward the right hand side of your mat. You lengthen out that left foot, shoelace side of that left foot down on the mat. Choose, if you'd like to have support, you can place a block underneath your hip, or actually sometimes a blanket or a thin book is good underneath your hip as well. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe your right cheek comes down onto the pillow. And let this be easy. Let it feel good. If you find that there's any part of your body that's gripping unnecessarily, you can either shift your support, add more support. Nice. Sink in, sink down. Surrender. So this week, I had an inner ear infection. That's not all that fun. It actually put me out of commission for a couple of days because it made me so dizzy. It kind of felt like vertigo. It was not my favorite thing at all. But in staying in awareness with what was going on, it was interesting to watch the thoughts go as I definitely resisted taking rest. But there's so much I had to do, not just house stuff, not just work stuff, just life stuff. There were deadlines that I wanted to meet. There were activities that I wanted to partake in. There's so much resistance to inaction, even though I physically wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. And then it dawned on me. It was interesting, this consideration of when was the last time we were able to just not feel good and rest? When was the last time you were able to just not feel good and rest? Even as kids, you have to be sick enough to be able to stay home. And even when you stay home, you'll always have that one friend who would deliver the homework or the classwork that you did that day. And there's always that stress of, oh, shoot, then you have to catch up, right? And even with work, even if you took a sick day, or even if you took a day to yourself, there's always that looming burden of knowing that you'd have to catch up. But what if we just let ourselves rest? No strings attached, no catching up. What if your news story is, it's okay to rest? It's okay. Rest now. It's okay. Rest now. Okay. Slowly, slower than you want. Rise all the way back up. Way slower than you want. Remove the blanket from underneath your right sit bone. You might want to tuck your left foot underneath and stretch that right leg out behind you, giving it some space. And in whichever way is most comfortable to you, switch sides. Left knee toward the left-hand side of the mat. Lengthen that right leg right down behind you. Shoelace side of that right foot down on the mat. Taking a blanket or a bolster underneath your left hip if you'd like. And take your time. When you're ready, as you're ready, lower down. And I'll offer up some new thoughts here. Take them if you'd like them. That it's okay to rest. You can let go now. that you are supported no matter what. No matter what, it's all going to be okay. It's always going to be okay. Just rest now. Notice if there's any part of you that's unnecessarily gripping. If it is, see if you can make an adjustment, maybe add a support so that that place can soften. Take a long, deep inhale and exhale. And slowly make your way all the way back up, maybe tucking in your right toes, stretching out that left leg, giving it a little bit of space. And as you settle back in, rearrange all of your goods, all of your support, so that you can settle into a comfortable shavasana. So you might want to place one pillow underneath your knees so that it can support your low back, one pillow underneath your head to help support your head. If you want a blanket, now's a good time to place a blanket over top of you. If you have an eye mask, now is a really good time, or eye pillow, now is a really good time to put an eye pillow over top of your eyes. Nice. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Let your feet flop out to either which way. And your hands, we're not going to do Shavasana hands just yet. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Nice. Noticing the rhythm of your own heart beating. Noticing the rise and fall of your belly with each breath. And then drawing your attention back to your heart space. Go deep into your heart space and find that softer part of you. That part of you, and we all have that part, that needs to be taken care of, that wants to be taken care of, that needs to know that you just being is enough. The part of you that needs to be validated, to be seen, to be heard. And holding that softer part of you. Let yourself know that you are held, that it's okay It's always going to be okay. You can let go now. Because you are taken care of. You are supported. And you can see proof of that. Solid proof of that in every single breath that you take. The loving intelligence of the automatic system of your body that breathes in those inhales and breathes out those exhales for you. Loving and supportive force of the universe that breathes the breath into you. You're already taken care of. Allow your hands to fall down by your sides. Shavasana. Hands down beside you, palms face the sky. Let your feet continue to flop out to either which way. Two releasing breaths. A long, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, let it all go. Sigh out. One more long, deep inhale through your nose. Fill up your heart, fill up your lungs. And exhale, sigh it all out. Sink in, sink down. Allow your whole self, your full self to soften. Your eyes drift to the back of your head down into your pillow or onto your mat. The crown of your head softens, your jaws, the space between your brows, and your whole face. The inner corners of your mouth curve upwards for a slight smile. Your neck and your shoulders soften. Your entire chest and heart space soften, almost like as if the front of your shoulders are just melting to the left and to the right. Sink in. Both arms, all 10 fingers, and even the insides of your palms soften. Your entire back from the nape of your neck all the way down to your sacrum melts into the mat. Relax your chest, your ribs, your belly. Relax your hips, the tops of your legs and the backs of your legs. The inner and outer edges of both feet. And all 10 toes. Surrender. Surrender your stories, your judgments, your expectations. Let it all go and come back to the recognition that you breathing, you being is so perfect. It is enough. It is more than enough. You don't have to try to do anything more. You don't have to try to be anything more. This is perfect. Sink in, melt in. And as you continue to let go, you draw deeper into your Shavasana. You may even feel kind of like a drifting, floating feeling. Let yourself drift and float. Just be. Just be. Rest here for the next few moments, trusting that I'll bring you back when it's time. Gently bring a sense of reawakening, straddling between the deep relaxation that you're in and a slight sense of awareness. Because now you get to decide if you do have the time and the space to, you can sink back deep into your Shavasana where you can rest and nourish and revitalize and replenish. The longer that you can stay in Shavasana, the better, because clarity that you gain from it, the clarity that you work with, when you feel fully rested, when you feel connected back to that ever present place of stillness, that place is more effective than you ever could be if you didn't take the rest and you just kept trying to do more. So if you can stay in Shavasana, stay there. Otherwise, if you do need to continue on with the remainder of your evening, then transition ever so slowly. And before you make your decision, we'll take the time here before you either sink back into Shavasana or gently transition out of Shavasana. Take the time here to recognize yourself for showing up on your mat today, for taking the time to restore, for willing to rest, and to reconnect to your inner world, to the deeper sense of yourself, which in turn allows you to now recognize the light that's within you. I'm going to leave you here before you transition one way or another. Thank you so much for practicing with me tonight. I truly do enjoy these classes with you, and I look forward to seeing you at the next class. Namaste.